Mondays the Bold and the Beautiful may deliver the kind of episode that changes everything before anyone sees it coming. A family war erupts, a secret starts slipping, and one confrontation could change everything. What shocks viewers may not be the fight itself, but what it unleashes next. Let's start with Brooke and Katie, because this confrontation already feels like one of the emotional centerpieces of the episode. Spoilers suggest Brooke will be furious once she learns more about Katie and Bill's next fashion event, especially with Katie refusing to back down over Eric's designs and continuing the rest of the collection. On paper, this sounds like a business disagreement. But this does not feel like it is only about fashion. This feels personal. Brooke may believe Katie is allowing unresolved family tension to shape her professional choices, and that is exactly why this clash could hit so hard. Brooke has always had a tendency to step into a situation as if she sees the bigger picture. The problem is that Katie may be completely done accepting Brooke's point of view as the only valid one. Because Katie is expected to push back hard, she may accuse Brooke of acting as if the whole world revolves around her. That line alone could say everything about the deeper wound between them. Katie may not just be defending a business choice. She may be rejecting Brooke's entire way of dominating every emotional space she enters. So this confrontation may expose something uncomfortable. Brooke may think she is calling out selfishness, while Katie may see Brooke as the truly self-centered one. That makes this more than an argument. It makes it a battle over perspective. And in soaps, those are often the most dangerous fights of all, because both women may believe they are the injured party, and neither one may be willing to surrender first. What makes Katie especially compelling in this story is that she does not seem ready to soften her position just to keep the peace. That matters. For a long time, Katie has often found herself reacting to the stronger personalities around her. But Monday may hint at a version of Katie who is no longer interested in shrinking herself to make Brooke comfortable. If that is where this story is going, then this conflict could become much more satisfying than a simple shouting match. Katie may be drawing a line, and Brooke may not be prepared for that, because Brooke tends to do best when people still want her approval. But if Katie has truly reached the point where she no longer cares whether Brooke understands her or not, then Brooke may lose one of the emotional advantages she usually depends on. That is what could make this scene crackle. Not just anger, but a shift in the balance between them. And once that balance changes, the fallout may not stay inside one conversation. Elsewhere, another emotionally loaded confrontation is brewing. And this one may be even more dangerous because it is built on deception. Daphne is set to put Ivy on the spot and insist that this entire Elektra mess has gone on far too long. That already tells us Daphne may be reaching the end of her patience. She may no longer see silence as loyalty. She may see it as damage control for someone who refuses to admit what she has done. And what has Ivy done? According to the spoilers, Daphne will pressure Ivy to confess to Elektra about arranging the breakup with Will. That is enormous, because if that truth comes out, then this is no longer just meddling. It becomes calculated emotional interference. Ivy, of course, will not want to confess. In fact, she is expected to remind Daphne that she needs to stay quiet. That response says a lot. It suggests Ivy is not operating from guilt. She is operating from certainty. She appears convinced that she is protecting Elektra's future, and that belief may be what makes her so dangerous right now. Because the most effective manipulators on a soap are often not the ones twirling mustaches and enjoying the chaos. They are the ones who convince themselves their interference is justified. If Ivy truly believes she is securing a better future for Elektra and RJ, then she may feel morally untouchable. And that kind of self-righteousness can push a character even further than simple jealousy ever could. So Daphne's challenge may not just be about forcing a confession. It may be about trying to stop Ivy before this scheme causes permanent damage. And then we have the showdown between RJ and Will. A conflict that looks ready to explode in a much messier, more physical direction. Spoilers say RJ will overreact during his confrontation with Will, and that things will spiral into a workplace brawl. That alone tells us the rivalry is no longer simmering beneath the surface. It is boiling over. What makes this story stand out is that it is not just about romantic jealousy anymore. This is about pride. Will and RJ are not simply competing for emotional ground. They are also competing for status, control, and validation. In a situation like this, the real danger is not just who gets the girl. It is what each man feels this fight says about him. If RJ feels threatened, humiliated, or pushed into a corner, then his anger may not be entirely about the present moment. It may be about fear. Fear of losing influence, fear of looking weak, fear of being replaced. And if Will is pushing back with confidence, that may only intensify RJ's spiral. That is why this brawl could matter more than it first appears. Physical conflict on a soap is rarely just physical. It reveals the emotional instability underneath. So if RJ truly loses control, Monday may expose a side of him that is harder to defend. And once that happens, other people will start judging him differently too. That brings us to Ridge, who is expected to be disgusted by the unprofessional behavior from both RJ and Will. On one level, Ridge may step in as the voice of authority. He may shut the fight down, lecture both men, and try to restore order. But the real question is whether order can still be restored that easily. Because when Ridge intervenes, he may be treating the symptom, not the disease. The real problem is not just one fight. The real problem is that emotional chaos is spreading across every corner of this story. People are making decisions based on resentment, secrecy, and wounded ego. A lecture may stop the shouting. It may not stop what comes next. And that is what makes Monday feel so promising. Each confrontation looks like it could end on the surface, while actually pushing the deeper conflict even further. Brooke and Katie may leave their fight more divided than before. Daphne may realize Ivy is even more determined than she feared. RJ and Will may walk away with reputations already changing in Ridge's eyes. So even if Ridge manages to calm the room, the damage may already be done. By the time Monday's episode is over, the bold and the beautiful may leave several relationships in much worse shape than they were before. Brooke and Katie seem headed for a brutal emotional collision. Daphne may be getting dangerously close to exposing Ivy's scheme. And RJ's growing volatility with Will could push this younger rivalry into truly unpredictable territory. The biggest theme here may be simple. Secrets, pride, and control are no longer staying contained. And when that happens on this show, the next fallout is never far behind. So now I want to hear from you. Are you standing with Brooke, or do you think Katie is finally right to push back? Should Daphne expose Ivy before this secret causes even more damage? And is RJ heading toward a mistake that could make this whole situation even worse? Share your thoughts in the comments, because this episode looks like it could shift several storylines at once. And if you enjoy bold and the beautiful spoilers, detailed breakdowns, and dramatic analysis like this, make sure to like the video, share it, and subscribe to the channel. Because the tension is rising fast, the secrets are getting harder to hide, and the fallout may be even bigger than it seems.